Well, most country songs are written about love and breaking up. Bars and beers and blues and tears, reminiscing over a coffee cup. One thing they fail to mention, and that's how love really should be. And that kind of love is the way my dog loves me. Now there's a special kind of relationship called forgive and forget. And I've been searching most all of my life, and I just ain't found it yet. I know the ideal way to love is to love unconditionally. The kind of love that I'm talking about is the way my dog loves me. Well, my dog don't care if I'm rich, really don't care if I'm broke. Stands by me when I drink, tolerates me if I smoke. Well, he loves me through it all. Yeah, that's the way it should be. Hi, everybody. How are you? Thank you very much, Sandy. How are you today? I do still have a little bit of laryngitis, but it's not bad. I can at least talk, and do live streams and stuff. So we're gonna be good. Just bear with me if I do have to cough or blow my nose. That's uncontrollable. Unfortunately, I'm still at the tail end. I'm just gonna do a quick link here to our Facebook friends over there, and then we can get on with this. So I'm gonna do just a little bit more of the song while I get that going. Want us to start loving each other just the way my dog loves me. Well, since I've been singing this song, it's made me think twice. Right. So I had a talk with my Yeah, all right. Okay. So how are we doing today? Good? All right. I know it's been 2 weeks. I missed you guys very much. I'm sorry I was not able to get on here. I was very ill with a bad chest cold and laryngitis. So, but I am on the mend. Hi, Julianne. Hi, Wanda. Yeah, I'm feeling a little better. Just bear with me if I do have some of those lingering cold symptoms. I'm going to do the best I can. I do have a recording of me reading this chapter or part of this chapter on a prior live stream. So if I get really bad, I will just look that up in the meantime. But for now, all right. So without further ado, I might as well get going on the business here. I did not have time to make a PowerPoint, but this is a continuation of, we're going to be covering the Coronel. In this chapter is called The Completion. All right. And we're going to read half of it, and then I'll read the other half Saturday. I will be back on Saturday night with the rest. Okay. And then by then, hopefully, maybe I'll do a PowerPoint then. I'm not sure. So take this down. We don't need to watch Elvis. If you wanted to, you could. But anyway. All right. So I think we left off on the prior chapters. We left off with her asking all kinds of questions about, I think the way he used religion and so on to do this. So now we're going to go back into the Colonel and the missing her book taken off the shelves and stuff. We're going to go into that. All right. So there are a few of many expressions Elvis Presley used, expressions that accentuated the dream of a man who refused to operate within the confines of a non-extremist. Family members state that Elvis was a superstar. Even when he wasn't on stage, he was a showman in everything he did. He was a man who embraced his myths and legends and made them natural role for himself. He became a myth. He became a legend. The showmanship was exhibited in various ways. When Elvis dressed, he overdressed. When he ate, he overate. One ring was not enough. One airplane led to many airplanes. There were numerous cars, each driven at top speed. His stepbrother, Rick Stanley, had said that the ultimate challenge for Elvis was to look death in the eye and grin. He would take everything to the max just to see if it could be done. Elvis possessed an insatiable need for a challenge that once met was tossed aside. Confident he could do anything. This was the same man who, without warning, was able to meet with the President of the United States. It falls within the parameters of his thinking that the ultimate challenge of his life could be the leaving of it. Elvis was known to destroy at a whim. One such incident involved a small wooden three-bedroom house at the northeast corner of Graceland. Red West tells of a story of how Elvis suddenly got it into his mind to wipe the house off the face of the earth. There was nothing wrong with the house, but Elvis had it bulldozed to the ground. As he was able to destroy the cottage, one wonders if he carried that type of thinking into his personal life, the destruction of an identity. And to repeat what Merle Haggard said in 1979 in People magazine, Elvis may have faked his death. It would be the first chance for freedom in his entire life, and it could have been the scheme of Colonel Parker. Now, when we looked at other episodes in the Truth book, The Truth About Elvis Aaron Presley in his own words, he was quoted as saying, the Colonel was the mastermind behind the plan. The Colonel did it all. The Colonel picked Joe to be part of the scheme. The Colonel got it all set up. And how could the Colonel be able to do that? Well, this is where this part of this chapter is going to tell us how he got away with doing it, how he did it. Just as mystique surrounds the life and death of Elvis Aaron Presley, thus is the Colonel Thomas Andrew Parker's existence shrouded in mystery. Did the man who orchestrated the life of Elvis Presley also orchestrate the death of Elvis Presley? Would he have the know-how to remove from Elvis one identity and place it with another? According to reports, he possessed that type of know-how. There's a lengthy portrait of the Colonel in Albert Goldman's book Elvis, stating that Tom Parker is in reality Andre Van Kook. Rather than being born on June 26, 1909, in Huntington, West Virginia, the Colonel was born in the Catholic city of Breda in the southern Holland. No record of the Colonel's birth exists in the files in Huntington, West Virginia. Apparently, the Colonel was even, at an early age, masterful in the creation of a new identity. It is said he entered the United States illegally. Regardless, it does appear that he was able to completely disassociate himself with his family and friends back in Holland and mastermind a new life as Colonel Tom Parker in the United States. His word was golden. Because of this, he was able to dispense with many of the legal customs of business. His signature was rarely found on contracts or checks. It is said he had never owned a credit card, paid everything in cash, and had no passport. A passport requires a proof of birth. If one were illegally here, it would be well advised never to appear in a court of law or allow yourself to be a target of legal investigation. The business the colonel chose to be involved in is fraught with litigation, yet he has managed to stay out of court. All right. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself a break from reading for a second. And I'm going to give you guys a clip. Now, I had shown this to you about a couple episodes back. I think it was on the Colonel itself, or when we discussed the Colonel the last couple chapters back. So, this is a clip from Elvis Found Alive, the documentary. All right. And this identifies the Colonel, and let's see if they match. Okay. This is for matching purposes, and it gives me a minute.
I like to live up to my reputation of being a nice guy. This is it, folks.
I knew something fishy was going on, but I couldn't put my finger on it.
Why didn't you accept Barbra Streisand?
In '73, the Colonel had sold my royalties to RCA to cover gambling debts. By early '77, the Colonel was into the Las Vegas Hilton for $20 million. The FBI tipped me off that he had sold half my contract to Paul Castellano to pay it off. I wasn't working for an Italian crime syndicate. Since I got back from the Army, my career was kind of a living death anyway. And the Colonel said it was a great move, public relations-wise, that it'd be a great way to make money off the fans. You see, the Colonel couldn't control me anymore in life. I was sick of him. I was more valuable to him dead.
Elvis Presley's body lies.
Was it part of the plan to have a public viewing of the body the day after?
No, it wasn't. As soon as my so-called death was announced, Colonel Parker got a call from Paul Castellano, who screamed at him, "This is bullshit." The Colonel got scared and insisted on an open casket to prove I had...
Fans of Elvis Presley maintained that his longtime manager, Colonel Tom Parker, took advantage of him financially.
The Colonel once said, "Elvis takes 50% of everything I earn." Why did he get a 50% management fee when the industry standard was only 15%?
Tom Parker was an egotistical, obnoxious old carny huckster. He treated me like a carnival show, making money off me to feed his gambling habit.
Parker does not let Presley talk to newsmen. He said he himself would do an interview for just $25,000.
He did not care for me as a human being. As a carny, he viewed people as suckers, only for what he could get out of them. The Colonel is the most overrated person in the history of show business. But there's more to him. I'd wanted to tour Europe, especially to Germany, to repay the people for their hospitality. And there were offers, even $10 million to sing in Egypt at the pyramids. But the Colonel always said no. So I figured he must have a secret far worse than being an illegal resident. I mean, he was friends with Lyndon Johnson. He could have fixed it with one phone call. I had studied about psychopaths working at the FBI, and it reminded me of the Colonel's Jekyll and Hyde personality. He was kind and cruel, stingy and generous, reckless and conservative. And the Colonel didn't have an empathetic bone in his body. So I pulled the Colonel's U.S. Army records and found out he was discharged for being a psychopath. That's how we classify murderers. Then I read about an unsolved murder in his hometown of Breda in Holland. A 23-year-old woman named Anna van den Eden was beat to death in her kitchen on May 17, 1929. That evening, Andreas Cornelius van Kook, that's the Colonel, jumped onto a ship for America without saying goodbye to his family or taking any money, any clothes or ID. And that's why he spent his life denying his family in his home country. And I ended up paying the price.
So if you notice, that information pretty much matches what Gail Gail said. Now, this book was written in 1988, and that movie came out in 2011. So the information about the name, him escaping Holland, same year, all that information matches this book. So it's pretty interesting that he could actually escape being a criminal, escape and move to the United States and take on a new identity. So he had the means and he was able to do that for Elvis. So I'm going to read the rest of up to a certain page, and then I'm going to stop and we'll have a little talk, okay, or chat. So recently, Parker was removed by a probate court from handling Elvis's estate, a result of allegations of mismanagement. The allegations were filed by Lisa's court-appointed guardian. Judge Joseph W. Evans wrote in a heated opinion that the compensation received by Colonel Parker is excessive and shocks the conscience of the court. Evans then ordered that the Presley estate to cease all dealings with Parker. The same article, which appeared in People magazine in 1981, further states that the colonel, rather than being Thomas Andrew Parker of West Virginia, was in fact Andreas Cornelius Van Kook of Breda, Holland, who came to the United States in 1929 at the age of 20. The speculation that his illegal entry to is underlined by People. Next statement. His foreign birth supports speculation that the reason Presley never accepted multi-million-dollar overseas gigs was Parker's inability to secure a U.S. passport. Even Elvis stated once that he thought the colonel was born in Holland, and that he probably got here by jumping ship. More than one person who knew the colonel was to remark that the colonel had a fear of crossing outside the United States borders and maintained a secret and fictitious past. The sum total of what the various writers have found out about the colonel are consistent. Refused to leave the United States for overseas travel. Always overpaid the IRS, thus avoiding legal investigation. Avoided being in a position to sue or be sued, thus never being in court. Operating in cash, thus never authorizing any credit investigation. Remained secretive and cagey about his past. I think that it's interesting choice of words which Albert Goldman uses in Elvis to describe the colonel. He was a decision to enter his past and cover his traces permanently. The unusual business arrangements which existed between the colonel and Elvis have always been suspicious. According to the Memphis attorney Blanchard E. Truell, appointed by the probate court to represent Lisa, Elvis signed away an incredible 1/2 of his gross to the colonel. A cut, Truell said, was exorbitant, excessive, and unreasonable, and raises the question of whether Parker had been guilty of self-dealing. And that's People, 1981. Not intending to dissect the colonel and his business dealings, I do believe it is essential to show that if Elvis were to bury his old identity and to establish a completely new life, Colonel Tom Parker possessed such expertise. Because of the possibly establishing a new identity and a new life for himself. The colonel's family thought him dead. The colonel has always managed to divert any serious attention directed at him. He is definitely a now you see me, now you don't enigma. People near the colonel said he did not act surprised by Elvis's death. He had taken Elvis into his company, Boxcar Enterprises. And instead of going to Memphis on August 16th, he flew to New York to meet with Harry Geisler, the owner of Vactors, a merchandising firm that has put out collectibles such as Ferret Fawcett t-shirts. The colonel signed a deal for the merchandising rights to Elvis that in death would be worth millions. What I thought was interesting here was she said Boxcar Enterprises. If we were to watch further in that video that I just showed you a clip of, he says that his movie was called Boxcar Productions when he gave Priscilla the script for Finding Graceland. I thought that was interesting that he used that name for the productions. It actually says in the movie, like when you go listings in the IMBT, I think it's called, it says that Finding Graceland, one of the producers was TCB Productions, which I thought was interesting too. We cover that someday. And yeah, that'll be quite interesting. But anyway, I find it interesting to note that this deal with the actors was negotiated by the Colonel and Boxcar Enterprises rather than the Presley estate. Apparently, the Colonel and his associates received 75% of the merchandising income. Again, an incredible amount. Goldman points out in his investigative book that there was a 10% off the top finder's fee commission paid to the William Morris Agency. The William Morris, again, not only had I learned of the close relationship between the Colonel, Abe Lastfogel, and Bob Neal, but Albert Goldman in his Elvis book pointed out that some of the salary of the Colonel's large staff was actually paid for by the William Morris Agency. Goldman points out that Abe Lostfogel, the president of William Morris, was the mouthpiece for Colonel Parker. With this kind of closeness, I have to question the type of deals that were made on behalf of and for Elvis Presley. I wonder just how self-serving these deals were. But more, why had these same people at William Morris courted me? And then, when I did not play ball, why was my novel Orion stopped? Why suddenly did this piece of fiction disappear from every shelf across the United States? A novel that shows step by step how a superstar man of song hoaxes his own death with the help of his manager and doctor and a small group of family and friends. Was it all this simply a coincidence? Just because my novel seemed to be coming true, written prior to many events being recorded in book or media? Did I really have any evidence that the Colonel's buddies and the Colonel wanted Orion stopped? Just because the Colonel's buddies were with William Morris and the same top people both wrote and telephoned me should be listed as a coincidence, shouldn't it? And just because my former editor told a top literary agent that it was rumored that the Colonel had Orion stopped, I should, again, chalk it up to coincidence, should I? Yet, Orion was here one day and gone the next. I was paid a hefty advance and told to keep the money. I was instructed never to mention Elvis Presley in connection with Orion. That's the book. I was courted by letters and telephone calls by all three offices of William Morris Agency, Nashville, New York, and Los Angeles. At least two of these were top powers at William Morris and also close friends with the Colonel. I received late-night telephone calls from a mystery voice calling himself Orion, the singer. Yet I discovered it was not the same Orion as Jimmy Ellis. Ironically, on Sun Records label, Elvis's old label. Because Orion was declared fiction, because I had always made it clear that it was not an imitation of the life of Elvis Presley, and because I never said Elvis was alive, there was never any litigation to stop me. From what has been reported about the Colonel, he doesn't like courts of law. And it would have been much easier to have been stopped legally. I could have fought back. Whatever was done quietly. And I can't believe Orion, the book, was pulled because it was not worthy. There was a great deal of documentation in the form of letters from agents, publishers, and movie producers to support my belief that Orion was a good book. Thus, I have to ask repeatedly, was Orion stopped because it unwittingly described how a superstar of song hoaxed his death? Was this novel too close to the truth for comfort? Would it have been taken seriously if there had not been an independent media attention as to why there was a cover-up on the death of Elvis Presley, such as ABC's 2020? And I'm going to stop it right there. So there's a lot in that this part of the chapter that matched that video clip. And I'm going to say that pretty much that is the facts about surrounding Colonel Parker. And that what what Jesse had revealed, and the truth about Elvis Aaron Presley in his own words, where he said the Colonel was the mastermind behind it. He helped plan it out. But he was also a very good friend to Jesse Elvis. So some of that video clip is incorrect and paints their relationship different. Don't forget, he had stated to Linda Hood Sigmund that movie was half action and half fact. According to Linda Hood Sigmund, their relationship was like father and son, and they loved each other very much, even though they didn't always agree. And they remained close even after his death. And the Colonel is quoted as stating that he had talked to Elvis in the morning and told him to continue on after his death. I don't know if that's true or not. There's no proof, but that's what somebody says anyway, out of one magazine. And he also said that he knew that the Colonel was dying and actually called Linda or a friend and told them that Colonel was not going to be long for this world. And he basically told them when he died before the media even announced it on TV. So he knew him very well. And they loved each other, but they just never got along. Okay, so now I'll address comments and everything. And do the best I can. All right. So, hi, Sandy. Thank you very much. It was a long 2 weeks. I missed you guys very much. I was dying to get back on, and I was dying to get back on the Facebook as well, and I had to wait. Monday, I was pretty hoarse, but I came on Facebook and did a live stream with them. And what I've been doing with the Facebook family or the Facebook people is I've been taking the live streams that I've gotten on here for the Truth Book, and I've been putting them through a clip maker or whatever, and take all the miscellaneous stuff off, and then remaking new lives for them, new live episodes using the recordings. So yeah, that was easy. But we were on for 2 whole hours. That was crazy. Okay. Hi, Wanda. Yes, Elvis Aaron Presley is alive, but he doesn't use the same name, Elvis Presley. No, he does not. He uses Jesse. All right. As he gave up that name to live for the Lord. Well, he's not really, I think I know who you're implying, but he's not. All right. He is an 89-year-old, almost 90-year-old man. And he does serve the Lord, but not that capacity. He can't come out in the open. He's in hiding with guards. So anyway, he gave him it. But that's okay. He did give up the image, yes, and he does focus on God a lot. Lets him do good for the Lord to create him to do, yeah. I think that if he really wanted to, but he doesn't want to, he would come out. But he doesn't want to. He took that image and he let it die, and he's been living independently for 47, 46 or 47 years now, I think. I've lost track. All right. So, but not online or on video. He can't. And that video that was taken was 2011. Actually, it was recorded when he was 75. And after that, he moved again. He moves around a lot. Anyway, check the live videos on the Truth Book, The Truth About Elvis Aaron Presley in His Own Words. You'll find that very eye-opening. This book is good too, though. It's very meaty, so I break up the chapters into 2 parts. All right. Julianne. Hi, Joy. It's good to see that you're feeling better. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. It's been 2 weeks. I started 2 weeks ago. This cold. I'm now like in that draining stage where I like cough or sneeze or blow my nose a lot. But other than that, I'm doing good. My voice is almost back. At least my talking voice is almost back. Last week I couldn't talk at all. I was whispering. So, hi, Barbara. How are you tonight? Hi, Francis. I am feeling a lot better. I still have quite a bit of like bronchial pain and coughing and a runny nose. But other than that, I'm feeling better. My energy's back up. I'm back to work. I'm not sleeping as much. I'm focused on my other channel as well, which I will give you guys in a minute. Hi, Darlene. Yes, I'm feeling better. Yes. All right. So my other channel is called, where is it? This is my other YouTube channel. This channel basically shows my life, and my faith in God. All right. So anybody who wants to look at that may. I do sometimes might respond with that channel on the community. So you probably could find that. If you're interested in looking at that, you may. All right. Also, anybody who wants to get any updated information, I do have an update from Linda Hood Sigmund's Truth Continued.com. I did update on Facebook, but I couldn't update here because I couldn't breathe, couldn't talk. Anyway, he's doing okay as far as what she said. Didn't give her any other information. All right. But she said he sounded good, so I guess that's good, right? All right. All right. So, if there's no other comments or anything, if you guys are watching and haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I am almost at 1,000 members. When I get to 1,000 members, I'm going to do a countdown of the top 5 songs on this channel. All the songs are listed except for one. There's one song that I have saved for a membership. I can do memberships now to the channel. I'm not sure how that goes. You'd have to look it up and sign up and do that if you want to buy membership. I also think there's some super stickers or something. It raises money for the channel. It helps me support the channel. And you always could buy me a coffee, and that is underneath the description in this channel, where you can like support the channel by buying a coffee. And what the money will do is just go toward making better videos. Like, I'd like to get this program so that it's at the 1080 HD. Right now it's at 780. It comes in okay, but it'd probably be better, and that's an extra fee. Anyway, I just gave him an update. All I know is that he's doing okay. He sounded good, she said, and that was last Saturday. I don't know anything else more. My friend Jim found out. Like, he's friend, he's family. I think he contacted somebody who's close to him, and he said he's doing well. So it's the same message. That's good. Yes. Okay. I did check her site today. I know that she said she's dealing with a friend of hers that's very sick. So she's been away from her house. So just keep Linda and all that in your prayers. That area is rough anyway. North Carolina and all that stuff. All right. That's where she lives. All right. Not northern North Carolina. So, Valerie, I've been gone a while. Is Elvis okay? As far as I know, he's okay. That's what I heard. All right. He is okay. All right. Also, I think in maybe 3 weeks, if I'm not wrong, it'll be the beginning of December. She's gonna have the letters to Jesse. Hopefully she has it. I'm gonna actually message her on X and find out if she's having the messages to Jesse this year. If so, I will put a link somewhere here in the descriptions so you guys can write letters to Jesse over the holidays and his birthday. All right. And believe me, it was very awkward when I wrote my first letter last year. I had no idea what to say. It was hard, but I did it. It was hard. Awesome. All right. Have you watched the Elvis documentary on Netflix? I have not. I probably will, though, when I have time. I heard it was very good. I heard it was very good, but I have not seen it yet. All right. And I know that I think they lit up Graceland tonight, which was really early for Christmas. So anybody who wants to see that, you can go on Graceland.com and watch it. I think it was at like 6 o'clock my time, 7 o'clock their time. Yeah. So, or something like that. 6 o'clock their time, 7 o'clock my time. I think it was that. But anyway. So anybody who wants, after they get off this, wants to watch the house lighting or Graceland lighting, you'll find that there at Graceland.com. I don't know if you'll get it on here. You might get it on here too, or on Facebook. Yes, they do the lighting tonight. Yeah, and I mean, they already did it. It's already done. But I'm like, that's really early. I think last year they had it after Thanksgiving, I thought. I don't think they had it before. But then Thanksgiving's late this year, so maybe I'm wrong. All right. Hey, so if we don't have any more responses, any more questions or comments, I'm going to finish the song The Way My Dog Loves Me. And then we're going to sign off. And I will be back Saturday night here on YouTube at 8 o'clock. And I will finish the rest of this chapter. And hopefully by then, I'll have all this all cleared. Let's pray hard. All right?
I'm friend and I took some of his advice. Now I ain't gonna pay no mind.
Yes, good night, Francis. Yes, God bless you too.
Honey, I'm gonna start loving you just the way my dog loves me. Well, my dog don't care if I'm rich. Well, he don't care if I'm broke. Stands by me when I drink. Tolerates me if I smoke. Well, he loves me through it all. Well, that's the way it should be. Honey, I want us to start loving each other just the way my dog loves me. Yeah, I'm gonna start loving you just the way my dog loves me. Yeah, I want us to start loving each other just the way my dog loves me.
Good night, everybody. Remember to subscribe, like, favorite, and share this video all over the place. And have a great night. God bless you all.